Welcome back to The Explainer. Today, we're diving straight into the dark, echoing depth beneath the Amber Mountain. We're breaking down the absolutely thrilling 40th entry of the Chronicles of the Bane, titled The Occupied Archives.
Listen to this chilling realization from the ancient dwarven priest. He says, "If I do not recognize these markings, then they are either hidden from us or they are something new." Now, you really have to think about the gravity of those words. I mean, dwarven records stretch back to before the calamity itself. So to have a learned, ancient priest look at a piece of magic and essentially say, "I have absolutely no idea what this is," well, that sets an incredibly ominous tone. But before we can even begin to unravel that mystery, we got to understand the catastrophic event that trapped our heroes down here in the first place.
You see, the grim aftermath of the battle at Hammerdeep literally changes everything. In a super desperate bid to stop the fleeing orcs and goblins, Talonor and Calypso made a monumental tactical choice. They combined black powder with Calypso's devastating fireball, and boom, they completely shattered the bridge of Hammerdeep. Sure, it was a victory, but it came at a massive cost. Their one and only path forward, their only connection to the huge dwarven army behind them, was instantly reduced to rubble falling into the abyss.
Okay, let's dive into this, because the company now faces a severe tactical disadvantage. Their original plan heavily relied on the sheer numbers and might of General Thoric and Captain Rudrick's dwarven army. It was supposed to be this massive, fully supported push. But their new reality, it's grim. The dwarven armies simply cannot follow until a totally new bridge is constructed. The Gnoll's Bane is completely cut off. They are totally alone. And actually, to make a terrible situation even worse, the devastating earthquake that rocked Hammerdeep claimed the life of the kingdom's guide to Irondale. So they have no backup, and they have absolutely no map.
Faced with this terrifying new reality, the company spends their final hours of safety making some extremely desperate preparations. And it's fascinating because everyone processes the impending danger differently. Okazaki actually navigates the shut-down great forges of Hammerdeep. In this rare, kind of funny moment of levity, he teams up with the eccentric goblin inventor, Goblo Defoe, just trying to find a steel shield worthy of the darkness they're about to face. But, while Okazaki is gearing up physically, Talonor is gearing up mentally. He heads to the temple, seeking answers about those gruesome discoveries they made earlier.
And this brings us right back to that ominous quote from the beginning. Talonor is investigating these mysterious chimera collars. These are heavy iron bindings that the party literally pulled off the grotesque, stitched-together monstrous chimeras they fought earlier. Talonor brings the charcoal rubbing of the twisted markings on these collars to the old priest. But as we know, the priest is completely baffled. The magic used to fuse these creatures together isn't just dark. It is completely off the historical record. It's either a deeply ancient secret hidden from the dwarves, or it's a brand new type of horrific magic. And honestly, neither of those answers is exactly comforting, right?
So seeking just a brief moment of peace from all these dark revelations, Thane the Bard leads the company to a local tavern. It's a place where drink and stories flow, a temporary little sanctuary. But as you might guess, the sanctuary doesn't last long. The tension ratchets right back up. Okazaki, who is just ever observant, spots a dwarven soldier scanning the room. The guy's eyes are darting around, searching. He's watching them from the shadows. Okazaki quietly warns Cedric. Cedric passes it down the line, and suddenly, the soldier locks eyes with Talonor. The soldier walks right up and introduces himself as Bram Coulson.
And this brilliantly illustrates exactly why you want a seasoned ranger like Talonor in your party. Bram claims he heard their guide died, right? And he says he wants to offer his services to guide them to Irondale because he has family there and he desperately wants to protect them. Now that sounds noble enough, but Talonor's instincts immediately flare up. He initiates this incredibly tense psychological standoff. Talonor coldly points out that, hey, if Bram's family truly meant that much to him, he wouldn't be sitting in a tavern at Hammerdeep using duty as an excuse. He would have already deserted his post to save them. The logic is just sharp, ruthless, and it completely shatters Bram's cover story. Bram's face tightens, he turns, and he just walks away.
Which leads us to ask this massive, lingering question. Taylor actually calls after him, "Bram, I hope you find your family." But you know what? No one in the tavern ever sees Bram again. And far more troubling, the very next morning, Bram Coulson never reports for duty. He just vanishes into the shadows. So who is he actually working for? Was he a spy for whoever is controlling this twisted chimera magic? The party really doesn't have time to find out, but the dark implications hang super heavy over the rest of their journey. They are absolutely being watched. Knowing they're being watched and basically out of conventional options, the company gathers to debate their next move. Eventually, they settle on this highly risky but totally necessary tactical gamble using the magical key. Let's break down Taneler's proposed plan step by step. Step 1.
General Thoric will take possession of the key at dawn, attuning to it to rip open a portal directly into Irondale. Step 2. The Gnoll's Bane, acting as an elite vanguard, will cross through, scout the city for exactly 1 day to determine what happened, and report back. Step 3. Ord will then be entrusted with the key, taking it all the way to the Crystal Kingdom to deliver their intel and recruit Ravenna Solstice, a powerful mage and former Crystal Keeper, to their cause.
It's a brilliant, but definitely desperate plan. I mean, where exactly do you open a blind portal into a city that has gone completely dark? Well, the destination is carefully chosen: the Irondale Archives. According to all the intelligence they have left, the archives are supposedly one of the most secure, fortified, and safest places in the entire city. It's the only logical insertion point.
So it's dawn. General Thoric grasps the magical key, and suddenly radiant, glowing lines begin to trace their way across the solid, unyielding stone of Hammerdeep. It's like magic, defying the very laws of nature, as a doorway simply forms where absolutely no doorway should exist. Without even a second of hesitation, the members of the Gnoll's Bane step through the glowing portal, stepping right out of the known world and into the absolute unknown. And they are followed closely by 10 brave dwarven soldiers.
Let's move to and see how this builds, because the instant they cross the threshold, the illusion of safety is totally shattered. The reality of the archives is just total devastation. The room is completely ransacked. We're talking massive bookshelves violently overturned, ancient scrolls torn apart, vital records scattered everywhere and destroyed. The supposed safest place in Irondale has been completely breached and looted. They are literally standing in the graveyard of dwarven history.
But amidst all this unbelievable wreckage, they find only one actual clue. It's a single surviving, torn fragment of parchment just lying in the debris, and written on this tiny scrap is a reference to a legendary artifact known as the Sun Sword. But the artifact itself, long gone. There was only debris, silence, and 1,000 terrifying questions about who took it and why. And let me tell you, the lore of the Sun Sword just became incredibly important to our story, even in its physical absence.
Knowing that whoever tore this place apart could still be lurking nearby, the party proceeds with extreme caution. Stealth becomes their primary shield. Imagine creeping alongside the Gnoll's Bane right now, moving quietly through the ruined archive building until they reach a long corridor. On one side, a line of closed doors. On the other side, a stone balcony overlooking a massive courtyard below. Slowly, carefully, the company peers over the ledge to see what has actually become of Irondale.
And what they see sends an absolute chill through every single soldier present, because they finally see the enemy. It is a massive army, but they aren't the dwarves of Arondale. They are Dugar, the dark dwarves. Just look at these chilling traits. They are gray-skinned, pale-eyed. They are highly disciplined, drilling in shield formations and practicing hand-to-hand combat right down below. And most terrifyingly, they are countless. They fill the courtyard. They fill the opposite balconies. Irondale hasn't just mysteriously fallen. It has been systematically conquered and occupied by a massive Dugar army.
The sheer scale of the threat is paralyzing. It's 10 soldiers and the Gnoll's Bane against an entire occupied city. And then, in the dead silence of their hiding spot, comes a sound, a doorknob, slowly turning, right behind them in the corridor. Every single member reacts instantly. The dwarven soldiers flatten themselves against the cold stone walls. The Gnoll's Bane practically evaporates into the shadows to find cover. The door clicks, it slowly creaks open, and a single, dark Duergar steps out into the corridor.
For one agonizing, breathless moment, it seems like the company's stealth has held. It seems like they are entirely unseen. But then, the dark dwarf turns and begins walking directly toward the exact spot where the soldiers are hiding. And that, my friends, is exactly where the 40th entry leaves us. Talk about a massive, heart-stopping cliffhanger. The bridge is gone, they are completely cut off from their army, they are surrounded by an occupying force of countless Duergar, and their cover is about to be blown in the first 5 minutes of their scouting mission. Can the Gnoll's Bane possibly survive the shadows of Irondale? What is the real secret behind the Chimera Collars? And what on earth do the Duergar want with the Sun Sword? Well, we are just going to have to wait for the next entry to find out. Thanks for joining me on this explainer. Keep your eyes on the shadows, and I'll catch you next time.